What I'd like to do in this video is lay out a hypothesis, a theory regarding, what should we say, the war between Odin and Loki. So bear with me and consider what I'm about to lay out. Now, to begin with, the first thing I want to say is, personally, it's just Loki doesn't cut acceptance of what Loki does and what Loki gets away with. It's that sort of mischievous scamp, rogue trickster, or it's a requirement to be a force of change. I don't believe that's an acceptable get out of jail free card for Loki and what Loki does. Now, Loki ends Loki's freedom. It's like the patience of the Aesir has come to an end with Loki. I mean, probably prior to that, the death of Balder has to be the catalyst. And the final straw for Odin and Frigg and their considerations towards Loki. I mean, obviously, Loki attacks everyone, but particularly verbally attacks Frigg, and confesses really to their part in Balder's death. It's like that sort of in front of the Aesir. Now, I think in Loki, there's a few things that Loki says that, like with Halberd's song, Odin already knows that the things Loki is saying are not lies, but Loki is being truthful. And that's, in particular, Halberd's song is one of those areas where Odin has already said to Thor what Loki claims in Loki. And obviously, you can perhaps take that Loki is entrapped in Aegir's Hall because Loki can't help himself. And Odin plays it quite cool, quite cold, in that once Loki reminds Odin of their bond, Odin sort of relents and has space made for Loki, and for the whole scenario of Loki to play out. But I think this just comes back to this: at the heart of things, there's this long game being played out between Odin and Loki. So what is Loki's motive? And I can't help but feel that it's just Loki isn't enough. Obviously, what I make of it is going to be different to... I'm not a god. I'm not an Aesir or one of the Jotnar or anything. I am just a guy with, I don't know, some experiences, and I have to look at these things, and looking in the in-between spaces, draw my own conclusions and hopefully have some discussions with people. It'll be with my wife more than anyone else. But for me, motive has to be revenge for the death of Ymir. And I can't help but feel that Loki is in a key position to want revenge. And with the earlier video I made today about Laufey, his mother, that perhaps she is that daughter of Ymir, and this gives Loki that motive to want revenge for what happens. And really, the Odin, I feel, the more I read stuff and engage with the faith and that, Odin understands the way each member of the Aesir thinks and acts, and knows that there is a long game. Knows at the time that Odin and Loki forge this bond, Odin understands Loki even then, but needs Loki. And obviously in turn, Loki has this ambition for revenge, but needs to get close to Odin. And obviously in the process of getting towards the final, Loki's perceived final revenge, along the way wants to cause pain, which obviously in the narrative culminates in orchestrating Baldur's death as settlement for Ymir's death. Having pushed the tolerance levels of the Aesir, of Odin, to get to that sort of point. So I suppose really, what then do you make of the schemes and the prophecy of the Luspa or Ragnarok, and what is, if Odin understands this, and Frigg versus Loki, if this is the dynamic of what is understood, what is the long game? And really, it's there in Voluspa, is that after Ragnarok, Balder will return. And while there are severe costs for the Aesir, Balder is the most beloved. And you have to wonder if the conversations we don't get to see, the understandings we don't get to see, is that for Frigg and Odin, that they are prepared to sacrifice all to defeat the schemes of Loki, if it means that their most beloved son is released and survives and continues. I mean, really, it's what parent would not do such a thing, even if it's at the cost of Odin's life. Odin is prepared to play out his part, fight in that final battle with the warriors of Valhalla and Thor, if it means Frigg can be satisfied that her son has his future. There's probably holes in this theory, and I am keen to, I don't know, discuss it, have it discussed. I'm not saying this is it. It's more a case of going back to, why does Freya have half her pick of the warriors killed by weapons or killed in battle? What does Freya and her army do while Odin and the warriors of Valhalla are fighting this battle that they know can't be won? There's no mention of Frigg, and thinking the best of things, the outcome is the survival, the endurance, a future not tied by fate for Balder. So perhaps it all comes down to this war between Odin and Loki is for the future of the Aesir beyond this blood vendetta for the killing of Ymir. Think about it and let me know what you think. Cheers. Bye.